If you haven't jumped on the new sportsstuffhub.com website, I'll take you on a quick little tour. So here it is right at the top there. As you see, grand opening, receive 10% off your first order on all products. So any single cards, boxes, Funko Pops, whatever. Obviously, you'd log in when you want to place an order, but you can go right up there at the top to the card shop. Takes you to the basic inventory, which just might take a second to load because I'm on a weird browser through my encoding software. Well, that's fantastic. It's not loading. Normally, this would all be chock full of cards. There we go. So it, for some reason, this is making me click each sport. So there's a little tour of the football side. So I got it broken down between baseball, football, basketball, singles, and then here's the different boxes. There we go. So there's some, this is a blend of everything. If you just go to the, if you just click on card shop and scroll down, it actually takes you to all of the card inventory. It's all combined. Sports, boxes, doesn't matter, it's all combined. But then you can click on each one of these and break it down. Or you can go in here and you could type if you were looking just for, let's say you're looking just for Buccaneers. So this will give you everything that's listed in the website under Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So that's the card shop, and then the Funko shop is the same exact type of setup. There's the search bar. Scroll down a little bit, and there's all the different categories of pops. You can click on any one. They're all broken down into category, and if you just keep scrolling, that's literally just a full, complete inventory of everything. So then that's the Funko Pops. And then if any of you have jumped onto the articles page yet, I've posted my first article on there. Go ahead and read that if you when you get time. But I'm going to be probably trying to put up at least an article every other day. And then once we get the podcast rolling, that's where you're going to find your podcasts. And then this tab is going to be a tab for you to go to watch the show every Tuesday if you don't want to use the YouTube browser. You can just watch it right here. So that's a quick little virtual tour of Sports Stuff Hub website. And like I said, more is going to be added to it. Up towards where the card shop is, between card shop, Funko shop, and my story up there. That's where the group break tab is going to end up. In that area somewhere up top there, so it'll have its own separate tab as well. And then I'll probably have a spot to leave reviews and stuff. Anyway, so that's the website, and there's a lot more that's going to get added to it. Speaking of, I do have these up on the website as well, but we are going to rip one of these boxes tonight. This is 2020 Panini Elite Extra Edition Baseball. 5 cards per pack, 5 packs per box, 8 autographs, and 2 memorabilia cards. So if you're chasing autographs and memorabilia cards, Panini Elite Extra Edition, 8 autographs in a box. And not a bad price on this stuff either. I want to say it's reasonably priced, I know that. Thank you, Taylor. Appreciate you checking it out. Like I just took everybody on a quick virtual tour, and eventually it'll be way more added to it. Let's see. These boxes are only $100 a box. So I have another. I'll tell you in a second. Oh, where'd my browser go? I haven't added to the Funko inventory in a couple of days, just because I've been trying to get... Funko Pops are really easy to add to the inventory. Sports cards take for freaking ever. I can add 20 Funko Pops in 30 minutes. It takes me 2 hours to add 20 sports cards. It's so much more time consuming adding sports cards. And a lot of it's just because of the research that goes into listing a card. And then taking pictures, cropping, editing, posting. It like I said, it literally takes for freaking ever. Funko Pop I can do like that. So I do have more coming. Do have more that I'm going to add. I did add some. I do have some DK Metcalfs on there, Taylor, but they are not. They're not cheap. They're at what the current market price was on them because I had to pay. I had to pay to get them. I was a little perturbed. I still haven't been able to get them from Funko because I still haven't gotten my last order. We're going on 6 weeks that they're behind right now. I was hoping to have that order filled before the January card show at Twin Oaks, and it doesn't look like I'm going to see it before then. Yeah, I was not shocked really at all with the lack of offensive production with Shoddy. It didn't surprise me one bit. The Seahawks offense fell off the wagon. And I compared, I don't remember who I was talking to the other day, but I was talking to somebody about the comparison between the Seahawks and the Steelers. First half of the season, the offense was clicking, putting up points, 30-plus points on a regular basis. And then it was like second half of the season, the wheels fell off. And was not expecting that, especially from Seattle. But it was almost like they handcuffed Russell Wilson, just like they handcuffed Ben Roethlisberger, and they were trying to play safe ball to walk into the playoffs, only to turn around and get bounced after 1 week. So, it was a little shocking to see what happened the second half of the season for both teams. And I get what you're saying, David. Offense being the best it ever was to begin the season. The problem was that Russell Wilson was sacked third most in the NFL. He had his career high in interceptions. They had an issue with fumbles. He was getting hit constantly, and they weren't making adjustments. And the running game, aside from Russell Wilson, really kind of fell off a cliff. And even Russ wasn't running as well as he was before. So I see why they made the move. I think what it boils down to is Pete Carroll holding Shoddy accountable for it instead of taking. It was probably, and I don't know what happened behind closed doors, but there could very well have been an explanation to John Schneider, and and ownership that, hey, we're going to get rid of the offensive coordinator instead of the head coach. So that happens a lot. The GM sometimes takes responsibility. The GM gets canned. Head coach sometimes takes responsibility. The head coach gets canned. Sometimes the head coach saves his job by firing a coordinator or two. I've got a DK on there. I don't remember if I have any Jordan Funko Pops on the website. If I don't, there will be. I've got at least 2 or 3 different Jordans coming in my next Funko order, but I do have the DKs on there. Norton needs to go, that's for sure. I think they ran more, but I don't believe and I could be wrong, but the last time I looked, I thought the production, though, had dropped substantially. But also, look at designed runs versus Russell Wilson taking off and running. And that's where you got to break it down. How many handoff running plays did they run the second half of the season, and what was the yards per carry? Oh, I believe it. That happens every year with most teams once they get bounced from the playoffs. Is the local media just destroys them. What's going on, Connor? Tonight, later on in the show, we're going to rip a box of the Panini Elite Extra Edition Baseball 2020. I have a couple boxes left on the website. They're $100 a box. But this is a 5-pack per box, 5 cards per pack, 8 autographs, and 2 memorabilia cards per box. So 10 hits in a 5-pack box. So if you're searching for hits, this is a product you want to grab, and it's moderately priced. It's a $100 box. This is not something that's going to run you $400, $500, $600 like what you're seeing on most of the products nowadays. So I know it's not licensed, but it's 8 hits, and you could still end up with a banger out of it. Or 8 autographs, 10 hits. Okay, so getting into first thing tonight, talking a little NFL. What went wrong in the wild card round for the 6 teams that lost? We're going to start off covering the Indy-Buffalo game. Buffalo won 27-24. This one isn't really that... this one's a lot harder to do as far as what went wrong. What went wrong was that Indy had to play Buffalo. That's what went wrong. Indy played fantastic, other than a few boneheaded calls by the coach. But this game was way closer than anybody expected. Indy played well, and they could have won it if not for some of those bad calls by Frank Reich. Now, Frank Reich is still new as being a head coach in this league. This is only his 2nd season, but this was the first season out of the 2 where he had a good quarterback and healthy running backs. Because if you remember last year, his running back stable got decimated, and T.Y. Hilton spent half the year nursing injuries. So now you put a good quarterback in Frank Reich's system, which Frank Reich is very good quarterbacks coach. Ask Carson Wentz. I can very much see if Phillip Rivers comes back to Indy next year that Indy's a contender. There's no reason why they wouldn't be. He did a fantastic job with that team. So as far as what went wrong for Indy, a couple of bad calls by Frank Reich, and that's about it. The Rams-Seahawks game number 2. Rams won the game 30-20. This one was an unusual game to see, especially for Seattle losing a home playoff game, which does not happen very often. The Hawks just didn't look to have it in this game. They trailed the Rams the entire game after the Rams kicked their field goal in their second possession. So Rams went up 3-0 midway through the first and never relinquished that lead. Seattle D held the Rams passing game in check, but they let Cam Akers literally run anywhere the man wanted to. 28 carries for 131 yards, and then he also had 2 receptions for 45 yards, and he had a rushing touchdown on top of it. just was a bad day for the run defense of the Seahawks. Then you add into it Russell Wilson after looking like an MVP earlier in the season. And then the second half of the season was just absolutely disastrous for Russell Wilson as he dropped his touchdowns per game, raised his interceptions per game, and it just was ugly. I want to say he had 8 interceptions in the second half of the season. Question is, was it the play calling? Was it the scheme? Was it personnel? Was he just getting too physically abused by being one of the 3 top sacked quarterbacks in the NFL? Well, as some of you guys just mentioned, Shoddy got fired today, their offensive coordinator. So looks to me like they're holding accountability firmly in the grasp of Schottenheimer for the fallout for what happened with the Seattle offense. Is that going to fix it in the future? Who knows? They definitely need to upgrade their offensive line. They have to get Russell Wilson some pass protection. They have to keep him upright because part of the dangerous mentality is him being able to scramble. Well, if he's forced to scramble every other play, he's not going to last a full season at full capacity. Now, he's been an Iron Man as far as play, but he's nursing wounds, he's banged up, he's battered, he's bruised, he's hurt, and it wears on him throughout the season. This was a clear case of it. Tampa Bay winning at Washington. Tampa Bay winning 31-23. What went wrong for this game was the fact that they had to have a fifth string quarterback for Washington play against Tom Brady. That's really the problem. Taylor Heineke gave the Tampa Bay defense every ounce of skill that he had, and they really weren't ready for it. He settled down after halftime because, I mean, they couldn't do crap to open the game, and a lot of that was probably just his nerves. But then after halftime, he opened up and really, really caught the attention of a lot of people because he went on to throw for 300 yards throughout the game and made plays with his legs that were almost like him being an undiscovered mini Lamar Jackson. Taylor ran 6 times for 46 yards, including an 8-yard touchdown dive late in the third quarter. So he, like I said, he surprised a lot of people with the way he played and kept Washington in that game. As you can see by the score, it was a one touchdown game at the end of the game. Washington wasn't expected to win this game, but at least they showed that they had heart and they could come back and they could hold in there. You put in a better quarterback that didn't have the fallout of the first half, Washington very well could have won that game. Next game, Baltimore, Tennessee. Baltimore won this game 20-13. And I'll say this before we get going into the Baltimore, Tennessee game. Of the 6 games played this weekend, only 2 home teams won. 4 division champions went home. Tennessee was one of them, even though they played at home. Baltimore 20, Tennessee 13. Let's face it, Tennessee shat the bed completely. After they went up 7-0 in the first quarter, they turned around and picked off Lamar on the next drive, and then getting a field goal to go up 10-0 early. So, I mean, it looked like Tennessee was going to completely wash the Ravens, and then they just collapsed. Baltimore wore them down. Tennessee couldn't stop Lamar on the ground. Lamar ran to the tune of 136 yards on 16 carries. The likelihood of you winning that game when he does that to you is low. If you're expecting Derrick Henry to run the ball, that wasn't going to happen. They left him empty-handed. The 2020 rushing champ, 2,000-yard rusher, was held to 40 yards on 18 carries. 2.2 yard per carry average. Then you add on top of it, Tannehill wasn't able to carry the load either. He went for 18 of 26 for 165 yards. I guess you'd call this the revenge game for Baltimore. Everybody was talking about how Baltimore was going to get their bike back because Tennessee stole their bike. Tennessee beat them earlier this season. Tennessee beat them in the playoffs. So, Baltimore got their bike back. New Orleans at Chicago, or excuse me, Chicago at New Orleans. Chicago got, we'll call it blown out, 9-21. It's not really a blowout score. Neither team's offense looked great for the majority of this game. It was 7-3 at half, and in that first half, okay, I want you to put this into perspective. In the first half of this game, there was 7 punts. Okay? There was a turnover on downs, a fumble lost, and a missed field goal. 7, 8, 9, 10 drives. 10 drives that ended in 0 points. One drive was a touchdown for New Orleans, and one drive was a field goal for Chicago. So in 12 drives, 10 points got put on the board. So like I said, neither offense was doing crap. So in the second half, Bears just could not stop New Orleans, and New Orleans put up 2 massive clock-chewing drives that literally destroyed this game for Chicago. Both those 2 clock-chewing drives in the third quarter ended in touchdowns, and Chicago just could never recover from that point on. Chicago's offense was completely stagnant outside of their final drive of the game that ended the game on a 99-yard touchdown drive where Jimmy Graham got a touchdown literally to walk off the field. That was a 99-yard touchdown drive. The Bears' offense, total offense, was less than 300 yards. 99 of their total offensive yards came on one drive, the last drive of the game. 1/3 of their offensive production. You'd have thought that Chicago turned the ball over repeatedly in this game with how bad it was. Not a single turnover committed by Chicago. No fumbles, no interceptions, nothing. They just could not move the ball. Mitch Trubisky threw for 199 yards. Got a touchdown to end the game. 21-9. And then the final game of the Sunday matchups, Pittsburgh losing at Heinz Field to division rival Cleveland Browns. That game was an absolutely dreadful first quarter. I think that's the biggest takeaway here. I covered this game in an article that I put on sportstuffhub.com, if you read that article. And I broke down the catastrophic nightmare of a first quarter, and it's sickening to think about. A botched snap to open the game gave Cleveland 7 points in 14 seconds. Okay? Followed up by 2 interceptions that also led to touchdowns on the ensuing drives that Cleveland had. 28 points in the first quarter, 21 of which off of turnovers. Cleveland only had to put up 1 honest score in that first quarter. Ridiculous. 28 points scored alone by the Browns in the first quarter. Ridiculous. So what went wrong? Literally everything that could possibly go wrong went wrong all in the first quarter. But at least the offense provided some output throughout the game. They at least showed that they could put points on the board when it was all said and done. Now, we're not in a spot now where moral victories are victories, because it was win or go home. But they attempted to mount a comeback. The problem was that the defense was so battered and worn down that they couldn't stop Cleveland from moving the ball in the second half at all. And that comes from the previous 6 weeks of spending the majority on the field. Every single week. When your defense plays almost 3/4 of the game, it's going to wear on them over time. They weren't fresh, even though they rested several starters. You could tell. TJ Watt was out most of the fourth quarter. He was gassed. Oh my God, I have never seen a man with a motor like him gassed like that. Horrible. Back-breaking interceptions. Couldn't stop Cleveland. That's what went wrong. But if you take that first quarter out of the picture, this was a close game. Because outside of those 28 points they put up in the first quarter, they only scored 20 points. Let's give them the other 7 points, the honest 7 points they got in the first quarter. That was an actual touchdown off of a drive, off of a punt that Pittsburgh had. So give them that. So there's 27. Pittsburgh wins 37-27. My question in that is, if Cleveland hadn't put up 28 points in the second quarter, or excuse me, in the first quarter, and gotten it off to such a big lead, would Pittsburgh have even put up points in this game? Because it seems like over the last 6 weeks, the only time Pittsburgh put up points was when they were playing catch-up. When it was a close game, or if they had the lead, oh, we don't want to move the ball. If we move the ball, we might score points. And if we score on this drive, then the defense is going to have to come in. Well, if the defense then gives up a point, I mean, then it's going to be a problem, because then we're going to have to score again. And that mentality just destroyed them the second half of the season. So, as far as what went wrong for Pittsburgh, damn near everything. Correct, and the Browns were playing prevent defense in that game as well. And that's my point. Had the Browns not played prevent defense, had the Browns not been up 28-0, 35-3, 35-7, what would have happened? Would Pittsburgh have been able to move the ball if this was a 17-3, 17-7 type of game and Cleveland wasn't in a prevent? I mean, you saw what happened when they weren't in a prevent. Been through 4 frickin' interceptions. Because in the fourth quarter, Cleveland wasn't in prevent defense anymore. They were in it in the third quarter. And that's where Pittsburgh put up 2 touchdowns. Now, for the Seattle fans that just found out that Shoddy got fired, the Steelers fans are probably licking their chops going, now would be a good time to fire Randy Fichtner. If Seattle can do it, Pittsburgh can do it. All right, so next, the Houston Texans. The Houston Texans. Now, if you think that there was drama surrounding the Philadelphia Eagles this year, my God. Texans are in rough shape right now. Reports all over the league citing that Watson wants to be traded out of Houston. After the recent hire of GM Nick Caserio, the former Patriots director of player personnel, Watson was told by the Houston management that he would play a critical role in discussing the hiring of the GM and the head coach. Not that he would have a say in it. He was clear about that. Not that he would have a say in it, but they would keep him in the loop. Now, when you say keep him in the loop, ask opinion, see if he has any issues, have they had any run-ins in the past, maybe something was said, you don't know. So that's why you tend to ask guys like your franchise quarterback. Well, things got worse when Watson asked the team to interview Kansas City's offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy, to which the team responded by not giving him an opportunity until today. Yes, today, the Texans finally reached out to Eric Bieniemy to interview him. Now, what a lot of people are on Watson about, does he have a leg to stand on with his frustrations? A lot of people are saying, well, when a boss hires a manager, when a boss hires, your boss, are they going to consult you about it? Shut up and do your job. Well, yes and no. No, for the fact that I'm not paid hundreds of millions of dollars to play a game where I have to work very closely with the head coach and GM, and success is based on a trophy at the end of the season. Yes, for a guy that makes, 1/100th of what Deshaun Watson makes, and we're not playing for trophies at the end of a season at the everyday person's job. Now, his leg to stand on was that he was told by management that he'd be part of the process, and he clearly wasn't. Watson was just signed a massive contract, and it would probably be a pretty good idea if the quarterback is on board with who they bring in. I also read reports today that Caserio is trying to mend the fence with Watson, but it's still up in the air as to how that's going. And if you saw some of the social media outbursts today, former longtime Texans great wide receiver Andre Johnson, of all people, spoke out about how the Texans franchise is pathetic and wastes players' careers since Jack Easterby came into the picture. Those were pretty strong words from Andre Johnson. Even DeAndre Hopkins joined into the party by telling everyone, when Dre speaks, listen, in reference to Andre Johnson's tweet. Andre Johnson does not talk very often. He was not a vocal person in the NFL. He still has not been a vocal person. I saw somebody made a comment that the last non-promotional tweet by Andre Johnson on his Twitter was from 2019. Everything else on his Twitter has been commercial-wise, promotional-wise. He hasn't spoken on his Twitter since 2019, and it took this. Houston could be in for a very rough offseason and potentially worse 2021 season, as the team currently has no first-round pick in 2021 and could possibly be trading away their franchise quarterback. Houston Texans a mess. And it all starts at the top. All right, getting into vacant head coach positions in the NFL. You guys are going to get a kick out of this. So you all know that there's been, 7 coaches fired this year? Several of them came on the first Monday after the regular season ended. Well, here's your list, and here's some interesting facts about what the head coach is either gifted or in trouble with. Starting off number 1, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Probably one of the best situations for a head coach to walk into. Now, the Jaguars were the worst team in the NFL this year, as in terms of record. And they have a lot of problems in their roster. Obviously. Quarterback being a big one. Well, holding the number 1 overall pick could make a head coach job way easier. Add in the fact that the Jacksonville Jaguars hold the Rams' first-round pick as well. So the new head coach coming in has 2 first-round picks joining the team. On top of that, per over the cap, Jacksonville has $74 million worth of cap space going into 2021. Imagine what you could do with $74 million in cap space. They are, by the way, the biggest cap space team going into 2021. This is a sweet gig for whoever's walking into it. The next spot, Los Angeles Chargers. They parted ways with Anthony Lynn after the season. And the Chargers come in holding the 13th pick overall in this coming draft. Now, one of the sweet things that the new head coach is taking on is rookie sensation, quarterback Justin Herbert. Again, another good situation for a head coach to walk into. Add in $29 million worth of cap space, could make some changes, ruffle some feathers. You could sign a big free agent. Justin Herbert's got targets. He's got Mike Williams. He's got Keenan Allen. They've got a couple of good running backs. Maybe they make a splash in the first round and pick up another offensive lineman or go wide receiver. Who would be on the board at number 13 for wide receiver or running back? They just signed Austin Eckler to an extension before the season. Do they want to go running back, even though that was a massive need for him this year, especially with Austin Eckler battling injuries? So maybe they go running back. Maybe they grab another stud wide receiver to pair with Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, because Mike Williams has, quite frankly, been underperforming. Keenan Allen is a monster. Great situation for the next head coach to pop into. Third team on the list, coming in, another appealing look. New York Jets. 2 first-round picks again. Number 2 overall, and the number 23 overall from Seattle that they got in the Jamal Adams trade. There's been some talks already that Doug Peterson may end up with the Jets. Does Doug Peterson try to salvage Sam Darnold's career? Or does Doug Peterson use him as trade bait? Or start again with a new quarterback? He's got the number 2 overall pick. He could go Justin Fields. Whatever the case may be, whoever the coach is coming in with also is sitting with $71 million worth of cap space. This new head coach working closely with the GM, as if it's Doug Peterson, knows the GM and could work very well with him. The second most cap space in the NFL, $71 million. They could really hit the free agent market hard. Because that's one thing that Sam Darnold hasn't really had since being drafted, is a good target. There are 14 top-tier wide receivers hitting the free agent market this year. Could you imagine Corey Davis and Juju Smith-Schuster playing for the Jets? By the way, Hines Ward is the Jets wide receiver coach. You don't think that Juju might want to go play for Hines Ward? You tool up. and Doug Peterson gets to hire his own staff, as he was not allowed to do in Philly, Doug Peterson might create a dangerous, upset Jets team. Not necessarily Super Bowl bound, but they could be an 8-8, which would be a massive improvement. Could be an 8-8 upset spoiler at the end of the season. Maybe they'll knock the Bills down a peg. It's potential. Next team on the list, the Atlanta Falcons. This one's a little more brutal. The first three that I talked about were pretty comfy jobs. This one hurts. They get the number 4 overall pick, sure. But let's face it, Matt Ryan has been underperforming, and his contract hurts. That's a lot of dead money if they try to part ways with Matt Ryan. Add on top of it, they are $24 million over the salary cap for 2021, which means they have to find a way to cut ties and free up $24 million before they can even consider adding to fill their 53-man roster. They have the 30th worst cap space situation. 30th best, sorry. Third worst. Not a good situation for the next head coach. Massive contract with Julio, massive contract with Matt Ryan. That's a lot of dead cap space. I don't envy the next Falcons coach. One that might not be so bad, the Detroit Lions. New head coach gets to work with the GM and figure out what they want to do with Matt Stafford. A 7th overall pick in the draft. Maybe they get the next Calvin Johnson in the draft. They've got the tools. They've got $12 million of cap space to work with, which is 18th most in the NFL. $12 million is not bad. They could probably do some damage with that. The question is, will they? Are they going to be the same old Detroit Lions? Move on from Matt Stafford. Maybe in the draft, maybe they take one of the young quarterbacks, because there's 5 potential first-round quarterbacks. Maybe they take a flyer on one of them at number 7 and trade away Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford's 32 years old. Might be able to get a second-rounder, first-rounder maybe even out of him. It's potential. The absolute worst spot to go. The train wreck the Houston Texans. No first-round picks. 0. Bill O'Brien made sure of that. And $18 million over the cap right now. That's a problem. So you have no first-round pick. You have a quarterback that wants out. You have a defensive end, an all-world defensive end, who's unhappy. Your fan base is pissed. Half the rest of the team is frustrated. And you're $18 million over the cap. I'm almost wondering if the Houston Texans should just take this season and wave the white flag and 16 forfeits. Trade away the entire roster. Not field a 53-man roster. Sign everybody they can to a vet minimum. Just get blown out every week. Reset. That's tough. That's really tough. I do not envy the person who makes the conscious decision to take on the head coach position of the Texans. He's in a losing battle. Flat out. And Nick Caserio is not in any better position as the GM. And the final spot on our list, number 7 team, the Philadelphia Eagles. Just let go of Doug Peterson. Parted ways with Doug Peterson after a meeting with Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman. Mr. Lurie decided that the path that Doug Peterson was on was not the path the Eagles franchise wanted to be on. Doug Peterson flat out said he was frustrated with everybody telling him what to do, not letting him do his job. Or was Doug Peterson just being a baby about it? I don't know. I wasn't in their front office. I wasn't in their meetings. But I have heard reports that that is fairly accurate. Philadelphia comes in with 2 starting quarterbacks, Carson Wentz and Jalen Hurts, and a massive, massive, massive cap hit. $51 million over the cap in this year. $51 million over the cap. And I still think Houston's in a worse predicament. That's bad. Philly at least has a number 6 overall pick. And they possibly could even get a big payoff with Jalen Hurts if they wanted to use Jalen Hurts as trade material and stick with Carson Wentz. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with Philly because they have 2 quarterbacks, one of which they're on the hook for a lot of money over the next few years. Now, if they trade Carson Wentz, that will definitely help their cap situation. They'll still be on the hook for, I think it was $22 or $23 million on a cap hit, but it will drop their cap space about $20 million because I want to say he accounts for $46 million this year on their cap. So they'd only end up with about 22. So they could cut their caps, their over the cap space by half, almost half. So maybe that's the solution. Maybe trade Carson Wentz to a team like Indy, Frank Reich, because that's Carson's quarterback coach from a couple years ago. Maybe he ends up in Houston after Deshaun Watson jettisons. There's a lot of spots he could go. San Fran. Minnesota. I'm sure he would love to go to Minnesota because then he'd be closer to home. Maybe the Vikings and the Eagles work a trade. And the Eagles get Kirk Cousins. A lot can happen. Plenty can happen. Oop. All right, looking ahead to the divisional round in the playoffs. Starting off Saturday, we've got the Los Angeles Rams heading to the legendary Lambeau Field of Green Bay, Wisconsin. Is it going to be the Jared Goff show or the John Wolford show? The Wolf man himself, after getting injured early in last week's game, and Jared Goff, the normal starter, came in and took down his division rival. Sean McVay has not announced who the starting quarterback is going to be this week against Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers. If somebody in this NFC is going to be able to shred the Rams defense, it's going to be the Packers. Devontae Adams is a beast. Aaron Jones is a beast. Jamal Williams is hurt, so that means that A.J. Dillon can steamroll somebody. But the Rams defense, man, I tell you what, Jalen Ramsey's looked really damn good. Aaron Donald's supposed to be able to play even though he's got his rib injury. So is he going to be effective though? I mean, if he's got any kind of really bad rib injury that's going to hurt when he makes contact, oof, that's going to be brutal for him. But that game is at 4:35 Eastern time, so 1:35 Pacific on Fox this week. So make sure you watch that one. Nationally televised games. All 4 games this weekend nationally televised, because that's how they run in the playoffs. The Saturday night game, the Ravens of Baltimore traveled to the Bills of Buffalo. 8:15 p.m. Eastern time, so 5:15 for us West Coasterners on NBC. And is Lamar Jackson going to be able to run wild on the Buffalo defense? Buffalo's defense is not that good, so it's very possible. The question is, can the Ravens defense, can their secondary limit Josh Allen? Buffalo's run game really isn't anything to brag about. It's there. It's not a bad run game. But their pass offense, Stephon Diggs, Cole Beasley, Taylor Gabriel, those guys are good. Can the secondary of the Ravens force Josh Allen into some bad throws? Can Marcus Peters jump one, pick it off, run it back for a touchdown maybe, put the ball back in Lamar's hands? Either way. High-powered offense versus high-powered offense combined with a pretty damn good defense. Baltimore might be one of the scariest teams going into the playoffs. We'll see. Sunday, first game. The Cleveland Browns heading to Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City to face the Chiefs, the number 1 seeded Chiefs. Now, is the week off plus the rest the week before, where a lot of the starters did not play in week 17 of the season, are the Chiefs going to come out rusty? The Browns are, man, they're jacked up right now. They are ready to smash some skulls. They are ready to play some football. Is that going to overcome the lack of motion the Chiefs have had to have over the last couple of weeks? You have a well-rested Patrick Mahomes, a well-rested Travis Kelce, a well-rested Tyreek Hill. I haven't seen if Clyde Edwards-Helaire is back yet. I know he was injured, and they were talking about he might be back for the divisional round, but I haven't heard. He'd be well-rested because he's recovering from an injury. That could end up hurting the Chiefs by sitting their guys in week 17 and having the bye week. That's 2 weeks of no football. Me as a player, that would kill me. No thank you. But the Browns offense can move the ball. Chiefs defense has gotten better and better over the second half of the season. Can they stop Baker Mayfield? Can they stop the two-headed monster of Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb, who have virtually been unstoppable this season? You stop one, the other one destroys you. Good luck stopping both. Can the Browns get to Baker Mayfield? Or can the Browns get to Patrick Mahomes? They couldn't get to Roethlisberger last week. And the Steelers' offensive line was crap lately. And Patrick Mahomes is not easy to take down. I want to say he was like the 5th least sacked quarterback in the NFL this year. They got to get pressure on him. Is the Browns secondary healthy again? Are they all going to be able to play? Could be a good matchup. Anyway, games at 3:05 p.m. Eastern Time, 12:05 West Coast on CBS and ESPN Deportes. And then the final game of the divisional round, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers go to play the New Orleans Saints at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome in beautiful New Orleans. Third time these two have played. Yeah. Third time. Last 2 times didn't go well for the Bucks, especially the last time. Bucks got whomped bad. I want to say, didn't they all put up three points and the Saints put up 30 plus? It was an absolute beat down. Could happen again. I don't think it's going to, because the Saints offense did not look good against the Bears. Saints offense has struggled over the last couple of weeks. Other than Alvin Kamara's 6 touchdown performance in week 16. Tampa Bay looked good this week. Tampa Bay looked good the last couple of games. Defense looks good. Tom Brady's slinging the rock. Antonio Brown's getting in sync with Brady, and that's dangerous. A lot of you guys know I'm an Antonio Brown fan. Yeah, he went banana balls for 2 years, a year and a half, 2 years. But the guy's talented. You can't deny that. Nobody can. He looked good. He could easily put up 10 for $150 and a tutter or 2. We'll see. This is really, for me, this is the most intriguing game of the weekend, is Saints-Bucks. I think this one's going to be, this is the one that I question the most. I really think the Ravens are going to beat the Browns. Or, excuse me, the Ravens are going to beat the Bills. The Packers are going to beat the Rams. And the Chiefs are going to beat the Browns. Fair enough. This one, I have no freaking clue. Good luck. Not even going to try to guess that one. Nah, I'll try to guess it. Saints. I'll go with Saints. It's at home. It's Brees. I just don't think they're going to be able to keep up with them. Saints defense is better. Still, it could very well go the other way. I could 100% see it go that way. Brady going to get his revenge game 3 matchup against Brees. Brady's fighting for ring number 7. Wants it. He's hungry. Antonio Brown could get a ring finally. That's divisional round. That game's 6:40 p.m. on the East Coast, and what's that? 3:40 local time here, Washington, on Fox. Crap! That's on Fox. That's stupid. I don't have Fox. Who puts a night game on Fox? Pfft. Anyway. Check in on the NBA real quick before we rip our box open. Philadelphia 76ers took down the Miami Heat tonight so far. The Brooklyn Nets topped the Nuggets. The Utah Jazz put a beating on the Cavs. Now, my question is, did Colin Sexton or Darius Garland get to come back for Cleveland? They did not. Colin Sexton out. Kevin Porter out. Darius Garland out. That is a killer. Kevin Love's still out too. Yeah, Cleveland. Once Cleveland gets healthy, Cleveland's going to be that's a good team. I look at Cleveland similar to Atlanta, without Cleveland having a Trae Young. Cleveland's got a lot of good depth, young depth. And obviously Atlanta does as well. But Atlanta has Trae Young. But I think Cleveland could be moving up over the next couple of years. They draft the right kid in the next year or so. They could be that good. Games going on currently. Lakers are up 20 on the Rockets. And the Spurs are up 6 points over the Thunder with 2.5 to go. So, not bad. I'm going to move... Oh, I'm going to get to some questions here real quick. Chat board. Trade Hurts, possibly. Pat McAfee will riot if Wentz goes to Indy. Absolutely. Watson to Miami could absolutely happen. I know he's expressed wanting to do that, and they get Tua and potentially a first-round draft pick back. Who knows? I don't think Miami's going to give a first-round pick away, though. Don't think he's going anywhere. It's going to be a crazy offseason. Absolutely is. Goff, probably. Yep. Adams about to get locked up. Should. Brownies, both out. Without Sexton, they just couldn't score. That is correct. Sexton has been a monster for him this year. I do like Colin Sexton. He's actually a really good player. He is a really good player. I'm high on that kid. Okay. Let me get my screen flipped around here real quick so I can change my camera. I'm just going to throw you back up on the website real quick while I change this. Ooh. Oh. Damn, I really cannot wait till I get my other camera. So I don't have to change screens or change the camera around every time. Gets to be a pain in the rear. Pain in the rear. Alright. There we go. Changing out the screen. Boom, boom, boom. Alright. Nice, David. Yeah, that's a good one. Sexton's value's going up. Alright, so we've got our Elite Extra Edition. Okay, 2020 Panini Elite Extra Edition Baseball Hobby Box. This is a loaded type of product. 5 cards per pack, 5 packs per box. Of those 25 cards, 8 autographs and 2 memorabilia cards per box. And these are only $100 boxes. Now, granted, these are not MLB licensed cards, but 10 hits out of a 25 card box is crazy. So if you are a hit hunter, HIT chasing autographs and chasing patches and memorabilia cards, this is a good product for you. It's going on most sites for around $100. So go scoop up some of this and open it and get your fill your dollar boxes, your dollar bins for card shows. Anyway, so 2020 Panini Elite Extra Edition Baseball. Thank you very much, David. I don't know if Torque is in this product. Austin Martin is on the box front, so I'm not really sure. I haven't really dug into the checklist on this stuff yet. So if you haven't seen the product yet, here's what it looks like. And our first card up front is Packy Naughton, numbered out of 999. And our next card is a die cut of Justin Foscue, numbered out of 48. And our first hit is a jersey card of JJ Bleday. And this one's not numbered by the looks of it. Nope. And it looks like our auto for this pack, Hidden Gems, Jamari Baylor. That's a neat set. I like that Hidden Gems. They look pretty sweet. And then we end up with Kyle Nicholas, parallel out of 120. 45 of 120. All right, so 1 of 8 autographs already on the board. It looks like all cards are numbered, base cards are numbered in this product. Next pack, CJ Van Eyck, numbered out of 999. I'll try to keep them separated. And Contenders Chrome or Prism, I should say, of Bobby Miller, college ticket. It's neat. I didn't know they threw those in here. And next auto is Nick Garcia, numbered out of 215. 64 of 215. Prime numbers. And our next auto, Elvin Gonzalez, numbered out of 160. Prime numbers autographs. This is a Dominican Prospect League player, numbered out of 160. And last card in this pack, Kalai Rosario out of 499. Aspirations parallel. $446 of $499. It's a good looking product. It absolutely is. I definitely will not argue that one bit. So we're 3 autos in. So we have 3 packs left with 5 autos to go. We get Rainier Vargas out of 999 base. And we get, that's not a bad one, Austin Wells, decade die cut out of 999. And we get Austin Hendrick, USA. USA material. Die cut jersey pieces. Probably just one jersey piece actually. Not numbered though. And our next auto is Gus Steger, Hidden Gems. Last card in this pack, Kale Emshoff. Status at a 249. $249. All right, guys, 2 packs left. Roberto Campos, base out of 99. Clayton Beater, one of the college tickets. That's actually a Prism. The other one was not, as you can see on the top there, Prism. It's got that nice refraction to it. Auto of Bryce Bonin. Not numbered, but on-card auto. That is a really nice on-card signature there. And this is a good one. Here we go. Out of 61, Pete Crow Armstrong. 4 of 61 on-card auto. Prime numbers. Pete Crow Armstrong. Booyah. That's the type of thing we were looking for. Good card. Good card. And last card for this pack, Evan Carter out of 190. Pete Crow Armstrong auto. That is definitely what we were looking for. Nice big card like that. Low numbered even. Last pack, guys. Addison Coffee out of 999 base. And we get a gold out of 24. Mac Wainwright. 2 of 24. Come on, focus there. 2 of 24 gold. Mac Wainwright. And Tyler Gentry. Another on-card auto. And we get a thick card of Camilo Diaz, numbered out of 125. Camilo Diaz. Jersey auto out of 125. And the last card, Nick Frasso out of 499. Green parallel. Nick Frasso. So that was one box of 2020 Panini Elite Extra Edition Baseball, highlighted by a monstrous Pete Crow Armstrong auto out of 61. Well, guys, that was a good one. I was not expecting that. That was great value in that box. Absolutely. Let me get these autos sleeved up real quick. Yeah, I'm not usually a fan of ripping Panini baseball products, but I do like this one. That was a good product. It's definitely a good design, and I like the on-card autographs. I do like on-card autographs. I want to say at least 3 of them were on card. I know the Hidden Gems were stickers. And like I said, guys, I've got 2 of those left on my website. And you get 10% off your first purchase on the website. So you'd save $10 buying a box. And Nick Garcia is on card. So the only ones that were stickers were the 2 Hidden Gems and the Elvin Gonzalez. Everything else was on card. That's not bad at all. I'll take that. Oh, and then the patch auto, or the jersey auto, was a sticker as well. So 4 and 4. So the 3 hidden gems, or excuse me, the 2 hidden gems and the Elvin Gonzalez were stickers. The Camilo Diaz jersey auto. And then these 4 were all on cards. So Pete Crow Armstrong, Nick Garcia, Bryce Bonnin, and Tyler Gentry, all on card autos. Yeah, can't hate that. Can't hate that. All right, let me get these out of the way real quick. Oh, man. You know what? I feel like ripping one more box. What do you guys think? One more box? Not of this, but of something else? Yeah. Let's do a bonus box. Just because I feel like it tonight. Let me see what I got. Tell you what, I'll leave it up to you guys. Prism Draft Picks Basketball Fast Break Edition, or Prism Football Fanatics Blaster. You guys choose. Choose wisely. So far, 2 votes football, 1 vote basketball. If we get 1 more vote for football, we go football. If nobody else votes, football wins automatically. Ten more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Going with Prism Football. Three votes for David. Here we go with our bonus rip for tonight. 1 blaster box of Panini Prism Football Fanatics Exclusive Edition. These blasters are 4 cards per pack, 6 packs per box, and you get Orange Ice Prism exclusives. And you get 1 rookie memorabilia card per box. Here we go. Let's get it. See if we can pull us a big. Well, that ripped funky. Alright, if you have not seen Prism Football, there is your base cards. Starting off with Sam Hubbard and an Anthony Miller and Isaiah Simmons on the base rookie, followed by a silver Deebo Samuel. Sorry, Jordan, we'd already... Well, you chose football, so that's what we're going with anyways. Yeah, let's hope the subs pop soon. Dede Westbrook, Derek Carr, Tyler Higbee, and our orange ice of Steeler TJ Watt. Good for my PC. TJ Watt. And our jersey, Jake Fromm. Jake from State Farm. And our base cards, Lamar Jackson, Brandon Graham, and rookie, Derek Brown. J.J. Watt, Justin Simmons, Kyle Rudolph, and an emergent, Justin Jefferson. N'Keal Harry, Kyle Fuller, Joe Burrow, base rookie card, kaboom! There we go, there we go, there we go. That's what we were hunting. And that one looks well centered, good to go. Look at that. Joe Burrow. And an orange ice of Brian Burns. Last pack. Ben Roethlisberger, Max Crosby, Devin White, and a orange ice rookie. Orange ice rookie. Who could it be? Jordan Love. Boom! Look at that. Jordan Love, orange ice. Ends out the box. That was a great box. Joe Burrow, Jordan Love, a Justin Jefferson insert. Very nice. Fantastic box. So that was one box of 2020 Panini Prism Football Fanatics Blaster exclusive. Boom, boom, boom. All right. That's what I like to see. That's how we end a show, guys. That's how we end a show. Oh, I gotta save that one there, Dave. I can't open up another one. I gotta save it. It's just the fast break, so it's the disco version of all the stuff. Oh, oops. Well, hopefully things go smoothly and I can get going back on breaking again here soon, and you guys can see all the basketball product you want. So, hopefully, we can start doing that again here soon. If you guys want, I can do, I was telling Shane earlier, I can do a 2-box playoff, or excuse me, not playoff, playbook football random division break, so 8 spots at 120 per. And that'll make sure that I can cover all the shipping and stuff. Yeah, that'll cover everything. And all the fees and crap. But it's up to you guys. If you guys want to do something like that, I will run it. If not, I understand. So, like I said, I bought a couple of boxes for the website, just at a decent enough price before they rolled up higher, and that way I don't lose my ass on them. I know, my chair, I just bought this chair like a little over a month ago, and it's already doing that, and it's driving me crazy. How much for the basketball box? Is that what you're asking, Dave? Oops. I don't know if it registered. No, that's... Wait, yeah, that's it. Panini Prism Draft Picks Basketball Fast Break. They're $180 a box. And you get 2 autographs, 5 cards per pack, 5 packs per box. It's all the discos and all that kind of stuff. Yes, Jordan, once I get breaking going again, yes, I'm gonna need help. Yeah, 180. The funny thing is, if you look at last year's draft that everybody was talking down on, the Prism draft now is over $200 a box. The basic stuff. Yeah, a lot of people haven't put out the fast break very much. They put out the choice at first. Talking to a lot of places, they didn't put it out because the boxes, this and the hobby box, looked too similar. So I got a couple of these from Collector's Corner, I don't know, month ago. He made me a deal on a couple that he had sitting on his shelf still, so I grabbed them with the intention of putting them on the website, and they're selling right now for about $175, $180 online. So, like I said, I just grabbed them as just kind of add to it for traffic coming on. Okay, giveaways. Okay, we're gonna do the... I gotta switch the screen over. I just realized it didn't do me any good at all to put something in front of the screen. Giveaway. We're gonna give away the Jake Fromm. And... thought I saw a good pair. I was wrong. Where was that other card that I... thought I remembered when I was ripping it that I found I had a good pair in mind that I was going to do. Now I don't know what the hell happened. Okay. We're going to give away the Jake Fromm and the Jamari Baylor. We're going to do 2 cards as a lot. Cincy. That's, nope, I got to change that, sorry. Not the Baylor, sorry. Here was the duo that I was looking at. This was the duo I was looking at. The Gus Steger and the Bryce Bonin. the Cincinnati pair. So that's the duo we're going to give away. So we're going to give away this to one winner and the Jake Fromm to one winner. So we're going to have two winners tonight. One winner wins the Cincinnati Auto duo, and one wins the Jake Fromm football jersey. All right. I knew there was a pair in those hits. Okay, let me get these over. We're going to do it simple again tonight. The randomized list, the first person is going to win part one. Alright, start throwing your me's down on the board, guys. Who's in? Throw names on the board, just put me. While we're waiting, San Antonio closes out the game, taking down the Spurs 112-102. Lakers win 117-100 over the Rockets. The Rockettes. Celtics Bulls was postponed again. It looks like Celtics were still dealing with some mass COVID issues. Indiana and Golden State just getting started. Just getting started. All right, Shane. We got Taylor, David Miller, Jordan. Give it another minute. I know there was a few other people that were in and out. Anybody else? Anybody else? Anybody else? Anybody else? All right, let's run it. Yeah, Jesus, Connor. Usually King of Rock is in here quietly. There's quite a few guys that were in and out and disappeared for the box rip. All right. Their loss. Rolling the dice. 6. We're going to randomize the list 6 times. The first spot wins the Jake Fromm. The second spot wins the autograph duo. Good luck, everybody. Randomizing 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the 6th and final time. Good luck. David Miller wins spot number 1, the Jake Fromm, and Jordan winning the baseball autograph duo. Congratulations, guys. So this next week we've got Playbook football releasing tomorrow. We have Contenders football releasing next week. Not a whole lot else between now and then. It's a slow period in sports cards after the flurry we had at the end, the last quarter of the year. So this next couple of weeks is going to be fairly slow before we start hitting a lot. Put the Fromm in Taylor's stack. I can do that. He's got a card here anyways. All right, David Miller passing on the Jake Fromm to Taylor. All right. Okay, so that concludes the show. We'll be back next week recapping a little bit of the divisional round in football and talking about what other drama can happen between now and then. So I will talk to you guys. I'll see you guys on social media. I'll talk to you guys here and there throughout. Stay safe this week. Have fun. Rip some product. And don't forget to show your hits. And as Ivan has been complaining about, start flexing more on social media. Make sure you guys tag Ivan at Watch the Breaks so that he can see that we're still flexing our hobby muscles with pulling cards. So it was a weak 2020, second half of 2020. Everybody was just posting what they had for sale. Nobody was posting their flexes anymore. So make sure you start posting. 2020 is for flexing. Anyway, guys, I'm Ryan with Sports Stuff Hub, and thank you for watching, and I will see y'all next week.